All right, welcome to another fantasy football show. We're here ahead of week 13. Taylor's fresh off a nap. We're ready to go. We got a lot of people to get to. It was the quickest nap I've ever seen.
It's like a recharge kind of thing. Yeah, it's not really a
nap
per se.
It's more like a Tesla charger, supercharger. I don't know. You got.
I feel like every job should come standard with a nap built in the center of it. You know what I mean? Like that should be normalized, right?
Well, I have one of those airplane pillow kind of things, and I just like bury my head in, and it just need like it's like plugging a phone in and going from like 40% to 50%. Like it's not like a big change, you know.
Something. Hey, that 10% will get you to
10% is key. Like you're
not
gonna
get you to the charger.
Yeah.
My phone's getting old. I'll take a percent a minute.
No, exactly.
It's not bad.
I'm not there anymore.
Yep.
Let's get to injury rundown real quick. Jonathan Taylor, unfortunately for fantasy owners that have been riding that roller coaster all year, took another bump in the road. He has a by video UCL injury in his thumb. He's going to undergo surgery for that. 2 to 3 weeks is what the team's saying. That maybe puts him back week 15. I think we're a little more confident about he can return week 15. I know that doesn't help people get into the quarterfinals. I think it is week 14, but at least some glimmer on the horizon. If anyone stashed the handcuff, Zach Moss, congrats. It's worked all year.
Hope you didn't drop him.
Don't drop him. You were really concerned there. Hope you didn't drop him.
Don't do that.
Please don't.
Are we talking right now? Now that we're on this, I feel like is Zach Moss like I don't want to throw on. We've been I think pretty good about not saying league winner every week, but like
right.
Zach Moss could be the dude right now.
He could be a league winner.
We're in the territory where Chuba Hubbard could win you a championship. Like. No. Truly and honestly,
what championship? Like the toilet bowl?
Yeah, maybe? Like not the championship.
Yeah.
All right, maybe not. I don't know. The Panthers offense could fire without Frank Reich, and
I don't know, man. They're pretty bad across the board, just talent wise. It's pretty gross.
Talk about charging.
I was really trying to sell the Panthers, and I can't
buy in.
I'm talking to a Carolina guy.
I don't want to either. Like it doesn't look fun to buy into at the moment. You know.
No.
Let's talk the other end of the spectrum a little bit, maybe. Aaron Rodgers, he's not coming back. Come on. They're 4-7.
Sure?
The Jets are 4-7. They opened his practice window. If in the next 3 weeks the Jets get into playoff contention, I got a boat to sell you. If you think that's a possibility, like
Tim Boyle is gonna backpack this team.
What kind of boat do you have? Is this a fake one?
It's SpongeBob related.
No, I'm serious. Like, so they're in the division right now, 4-7. Patriots don't exist in this scenario.
Don't exist.
So you got Buffalo Bills are 6-6. Yep. Dolphins are 8-3. Right?
Yeah.
They're there's a lot that
needs to happen.
It's not looking good. I mean, you got Steelers and Browns are 7-4 each. They're going to be fighting for the wild card, right?
Falcons, Texans, Miami is the Jets' next 3 games.
Bengals are 5-6. So is Jake Browning better than Wilson? The answer is not really known. So that's not good for Wilson.
True.
Right? So that means the Bengals are at least somewhat in it. And then the other division, you got Colts and Texans are both 6-5. They're all fighting. And then Browns are 6-5. Those really, really, really good Las Vegas Raiders are 5-7, and even the Chargers, who are a way better. Well, I don't know about way. Excuse me. On the early, yeah, exactly. Should be better than the Jets, but they're 4-7 too. So I mean, the Jets, even just in their own AFC, it's not like you said, a likely road that they're going to be a playoff team.
So you're expecting the Bills to drop down? I mean, I guess the third wild card opens everything up. They don't have to beat just the Bills. It's a 3-way race between the Colts, Chargers, and the Jets for that final spot, maybe.
That's a tasty race. I like it. That's a good one.
Does that taste good? Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
someone's going to fall in.
No, and someone's also going to fall off. Like one of these teams that are like mediocre are going to go on a losing streak at the end of the year. You know, there's a certain point where some of these teams are barely fighting for a 5-6 or whatever, right?
It's weird. We're a fantasy football show, so I'm thinking like in my head that these teams only have 2 weeks to turn it around and get to the playoffs. But in reality, that's just our fantasy team. So there's still more games to be played.
The real playoffs.
No,
that's two different things.
That's how the real teams treat it. That's how the real teams treat it. They dude, week 14, this is make or break. Come on,
it's time to start trying here, guys. Yeah,
we've been holding it all for this.
I feel like from an injury standpoint too, this is starting to get to week 2, where if you get an injury like a high ankle or something, it might be and you're on a bad team, you might be starting to pack it in because we're getting to the nitty gritty, right?
Yeah.
The real playoffs, all right? The reality playoffs, not the fantasy ones. We care about the fantasy ones, but there is some point that you're getting a multi-week injury. It's not helpful either playoffs, the real or fantasy, right? There's someone you have an ankle or a hamstring, especially a hamstring for a speedy guy. Like you have the Shaheeds and stuff like that.
I'm saying you're looking at Justin Jefferson. They're saving him for this, but if he comes off and has any kind of tweak, anything, like he's done. I don't know how many people held on to Justin Jefferson are still in the playoffs. Hopefully they got buoyed by something, but he's been out a while now.
Well, even if you do pick up something and you do actually find a way to come back for the fantasy playoffs, you might not be 100%. So you're going to maybe get a dud type game when the first game back too. So right now you need everybody in like a glass case, making sure they're like perfect for your playoffs.
Cooper Kupp, we don't have his practice report yet, but he did hurt that other ankle, left ankle, came in with the right ankle. He's hurt multiple times and had the high ankle on, but this one's the left ankle. Still played through, had 3 catches for 18 yards, I think he finished with. That was mostly game script, but he didn't look great running around out there. We still do expect him against Cleveland. Rashid Shaheed is nursing the quad, as well as Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen's the new one. We'll have to see about that one. He finished the game. Hopefully, I mean, sometimes they list quad and it's quad contusion. We'd have to go through back for video, but Thursday and Friday be better on that one. Chris Olave on the field today, so good sign that he can progress through recovery, the concussion protocol, but by our data, about 22% go through that without missing a game. Achan, LP, so I don't think he's playing this week. I mean, they already rushed him back for a week, got 2 touches and hurt it again, so it's probably going to be a wait for another week for Achan. Unfortunately, that everybody. I want to know what people were trading for Achan at his peak. It got nuts for a little bit.
Like their house.
Yeah. He's somebody that's, especially like you did trade a lot of value for him. If he's probably somebody that has not delivered for the people who is currently rostering him, so that's got to be incredibly.
At a certain point, it was like Jahmyr Gibbs for Achan straight up, and you're like, oh my god, you lost the Gibbs side completely.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So he's probably not. What do you think for playoffs, fantasy football playoffs? Like in the next 3 to 6 weeks, is he going to be viable at any point, or how's that looking? Do you think for him?
That's probably the good news, is that the Dolphins are going to be smart about it. It's a re-aggravation. It's not exactly a new injury, so it's not like he has to sit 3 weeks. I mean, he's already back at practice after 1 week when the last one put him on IR. So the team's going to be smart with him. They're probably going to limit his touches the next couple weeks and have him ready for the stretch run, which hopefully coincides with a lot of people's stretch run of fantasy playoffs.
Well, one thing about this year, he has needed really limited touches to do what he's been doing. He hasn't been like a 20, 22 carry back. So even when he's not 100%, if you get a game or 2 in the playoffs, he might have limited touches, but he might be able to do something with those touches.
All right, this is going to sound weird, but right now, who would you rather have, Achan or Keaton Mitchell?
I'd rather have Mitchell right now. Yeah. Mitchell looks like, if you want to lead into this next topic of the Gus Bus situation, is that Keaton Mitchell, he might have taken a job last game, right?
But is he Jalen Warren? Are we like just falling in love with the speed and the young talent?
I think you're always going to get the Gus Bus in the 3rd and 4th quarter. But Mitchell was like, Dobbins was always going to be the 1-2 quarter, and then mixing in, and then Edwards at the end. So Edwards is it's like Madison. There are better 2s than 1s, right? So it's a situation. I don't know if Mitchell is a bona fide 1, but he does the stuff that Dobbins does. And he has a burst that is like Warren, who I think they have a more pliable coaching staff than the Steelers. Steelers are very set in their ways. They're going to keep Harris until he runs off.
He got a touchdown, I think.
No, he had a really good game this week, but there's a certain point that Warren should have more touches every week.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was because Warren fumbled, right? And I was like, they hyped it before. There was a lot of reports that was like, they're going big now. They're going all in on Warren. They're going to throw the ball to Pickens. They're making all these claims, and then Warren fumbles the ball, and they're like, well, Harris, let's get back in there. And
that was fun while it lasted.
I was like, it's immediately over. It was that fragile. I don't know. It's weird.
You just get, it's visually there's a difference in how they run, explosiveness and just the effectiveness. So it's there's a certain point that you can't ignore the game film, and eventually Harris will lose his job to Warren. But it's also, he's good in those spurts too. If Warren had a full workload, he might not be this good, right? So they might be utilizing him perfectly. But there is games where you're seeing Harris get -2 yards, and the next carry Warren's getting 6, and you're like, who's the better back here? Blocking, so there's some issues there. But Harris had a good game last week. They need to start pounding the rock more, because Pickett, I don't think he's the answer. He can throw
Freiermuth.
Hopefully he has late.
That.
Yeah, I mean that's the tight end. That's not too much, But no, hopefully the offense opens up, without Canada, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll figure it out. But they need to start leaning on the run. They have a great defense. They seem like they're going to be a playoff team this year. So if you have a Harris or so, it might not be too bad these next couple games because they might be leaning on the run a little bit more.
Just last thing on the Gus bus. I know we've been blowing up the group chat with it, but I famously held off on trading him for James Conner when James Conner was on IR. You guys were trying to you guys were giving me a fair assumption of Gus bus. You're like, well, he's getting 2 touchdowns every week, and I didn't think that was going to continue. I know it was just 1 week, but
it was multiple weeks.
Keep him in your lineup.
Yeah.
Keep him in your lineup. This is the 1 week that he hasn't scored 1 million touchdowns.
Right.
Weird Monday night game against the Chargers. Sunday night game, but yeah, he's going to continue to get the red zone work. That offense gets in the red zone more than usual. The Chargers just had a good defensive day. Let's get some dudes and duds.
Dudes and duds.
Jacob, you go first.
Dud first or dude?
Dudes. Well, I mean, whatever you want. I don't know. What are you feeling? You feeling duty or duddy?
You need to do dudes first.
Let's go dudes first. I didn't realize unintentionally mine's all AFC West. Isaiah Pacheco, got to give him some credit. Good game against the Raiders, as everybody who runs the ball does. Max Crosby not at 100%, so that probably helped a little bit. But 15 carries for 55 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 catches for 34. He doesn't do that. So impressive output from him. 669 yards on the season. Just had to shout that out, and then 5 touchdowns.
Nice.
Yeah. That is nice. Yes, very nice.
Yeah.
Pacheco, he's somebody that I feel like hasn't been really garnering a lot of like interest in a lot of leagues. Going up to this trade deadline, I feel like he's just kind of been there. But if you look at his stats, you're happy to have him. Like, I don't think for some reason his value on paper has never really matched his production.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just because that offense, everybody in that offense is just kind of flimsy, because you don't really know from week to week, but he's been pretty steady all season long. And yeah, I'd be happy to have Pacheco if you have him.
Well, he's in that great like little group of like 10 to 15, these RBs this year, like Montgomery, Swift, Pacheco, Walker, White, Cook. They've all been like solidly good. Besides Montgomery's been visually, with the Gibbs lines have been very like, active on offense. But like the Swifts, Pacheco's, even I was a little bit wrong on Walker, and White even has been solid on the receiving game this year. They're all solid picks in that little mid round. If you didn't hit on the top, 10 running backs. Just
so rare to find usage and stability in like that range too. And it's like, you just know what you're getting from him. That probably makes him a little boring and dips the value a little bit. I mean, you know what you're getting from fantasy perspective and a football perspective. It's like, he's going to run like a chicken with his head cut off into any defender that he sees. not too much wiggle there.
Before I do my dude real quick, I just want to say Gus is RB6 this year, so I'm not off the bus. I hope Justin isn't either. Just one game.
No.
I know he has 10 touchdowns this year. He's 10 catches.
I wanted so bad to be like, but take out the touchdowns.
Yeah,
take out his only production.
Yeah.
He stole Jamal Williams like power Space Jam style. He said, give me that football. I got the touchdown ability now.
You started with the duds, right? Or dudes?
Dudes.
So my dude is Mike Evans. I did not expect him to be really good with Baker this year. He's wide receiver 6 this year, which is amazing. Wow. 6 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns this week. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. Like, Mayfield is targeting him. Godwin is not. I don't think Godwin runs the routes that are good for Mayfield.
He's not looking intermediate. He's looking down the field.
He's like a Winston type, right? He's just slinging it.
Yeah.
Mayfield, he's like, if he's bad, he's bad. He's been really good, more than bad this year.
Right.
Took a little bit of an ankle injury this week, but we expect him to play through that.
He's fine. He said MRI came back good. So
but I'm just really surprised with how good Mike Evans has been this year. You were getting Mike Evans at really cheap a lot of the offseason this year. We didn't know what to expect. Kyle Trask was probably going to be the starter till maybe like 3 weeks before the season. So good for him. That's a really big week. And honestly, I don't see this stopping. You're going to get another guaranteed 1,000-yard year from Evans, and he's racking up the touchdowns more than he did with Brady. Right now, he's doing the kind of Brady, trend of touchdowns. He didn't get this much the last couple of years, so it's good.
Yeah, you mentioned Godwin. I've watched a few Bucs games recently, and it's like you see him actually get a target, and it's either a drop or just a total miss by Baker. So it's like there's really been a lot of inconsistency from both of them that's just made for like a horrible experience for people.
Well, it's like a slant route thing. It's like Myers had a good game this week, but for like the Aiden O'Connell, Jimmy G, like he was really good at slants. Jimmy G is very accurate with that, right? So that fits Myers' game more. But and that's why Adams maybe didn't get as much. But then when O'Connell is more of like a gunslinger moving the ball down the field, and that fits Adams more, right? So it might be just a style quarterback that needs a switch, or just like Yeah, that's
no.
That's
You've seen those quarterbacks
exactly
those quarterbacks that love the cadence. It's like 1-2 ball out and a slant, and those wide receivers benefit every time. So it's once you get a different quarterback like Levis ain't throwing a slant the rest of the year.
Like it's definitely got like a cerebral aspect to it, but there's a certain point too that like you're taking way too long to get down the field. Yeah. Like if there's a mixture of both, then you're like, like Joe Burrow type, then you're like, oh wow, that's very, accurate. It's the way Stroud's doing it this year. But like if you're just doing straight slant, like
Justin Fields play calling,
you're Derek Carr, and your
average depth of target like -5.
Like you're really accurate, but you're at the 50 and it's taking you 20 minutes. Yeah, you know what I mean, like it's just it's not.
It's more of a game manager type routes, whatever.
Right.
Justin, who's your dude?
Let's go dude of the week. It's Kyren Williams. I mean, let's be honest. This has got to be dude of the week, right? I mean, he comes back off of IR, first game back, 16 carries, 143 yards, 6 catches, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The dude just, if you played against him, I'm sorry. But yeah, he just came back at the worst possible time to just bomb you with he had a lot of points in my league. I think it was like closing in on 40, over 40 points in my league.
Yeah, he had a big game. Yeah,
it felt like old school fantasy because like nowadays a team gets up and it's like, oh, they're gonna mix backs and throw in the rookie, like get him some touches. Like no, old school fantasy was you had one running back, he was getting 28 carries in a blowout, 180 yards.
I will say, don't sleep on Royce Freeman. All right, he was doing some stuff too. Yeah,
he was
it's not Darrell Henderson. They're like,
well, yeah,
thank you. You knew the playbook, so we filled the in, but goodbye.
Yeah, everyone's like they did him dirty, but they did wind up putting him back on the practice squad after they did that initial thing. But the optics of it did look pretty bad. That it was like, all right, I got my shiny toy back. You can go, get out of here. But
it does look bad that they like release him, but it's like, oh, they sign it back to the practice squad because they knew you have to release him to sign it back to the practice squad.
Ripien was worse though.
Yeah,
Ripien had played one game. They just said wave goodbye.
Set him to outer space.
Yeah.
No, Taylor touched on something before that game. The Cardinals' main defensive stopper,
Leki Futu.
You know his name better, which is rare.
There it is.
He was out, so it's going to be tough for the Cardinals to stop the run until he comes back. So I'm trying to look who the Cardinals play this week, but maybe you're targeting that back, DFS, stuff like that. Oh, Najee Harrison, Jalen Warren. There we go.
Yes.
Leading to Jalen Warren. All right, Dud, I got Jerry Jeudy, the ghost on the field. He got 3 targets, 2 catches, 11 yards. Cortland Sutton has like 1 million touchdowns. He's exactly what Jeudy was supposed to be this year. And it's not Russell Wilson. You can't put it on Russell Wilson. He's slinging the ball. He's got a good touchdown to interception ratio.
I think
He's
Steve Smith was right.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Right. No, I mean I agree. I agree with that too. I mean,
I've been burnt by him this year.
I mean, either you step up or you fade in the background, and I think we know which one Judy's doing right now.
I'm not even like that aggressive, Steve Smith, but I mean, like right now it's like you can see on the field he doesn't look like he's like a Deontay Johnson when he was looking at that that fumble. There's a certain point that like you don't look like you want to like you can tell you don't want to be with your employer. You know what I mean? There's just like visual proof. Like it's like you're on the field for 3. Like if you saw me like at Safeway checking at like the 3rd hour, you're gonna see me not enjoying my job.
Yeah.
So it's like you can see like some of these receivers, they don't seem like they're
which is crazy because the Broncos won like 5 straight. Like they're doing well, not throwing him the ball. They're not gonna all of a sudden throw him the ball.
Well, but he's like individual attitude.
I'm not getting targets, even though we're winning. Right. Like that's a horrible attitude to have
for sure.
But George Pickens is the leader of the clubhouse for that.
And even he has a attitude is a little iffy too. Dud I have is Joe Mixon, 8 for 16. I know the game got a little out of hand, but I mean that's 2 yards a carry. That's terrible. I mean the 44 yards he had with 2 receptions. It's not about like the yards. I mean one was like 30-yard catch. He should have had more. Yeah, it's just he's open a lot. It's like I don't know. That offense is Chase looked decent.
I want to do an aside on Jake Browning, but I won't waste your time here. If I'm facing TJ Watt, don't sit there with the ball in your hands. Dump it down to Mixon. Throw the tight end. I know you don't have one really, but Tyler Boyd, dump it off.
Release the ball. Yeah.
He found so many sacks against TJ Watt, and I was like, you're going to die.
But just Mixon overall this year, he's been the 18th running back. That's nowhere near where people are drafting him, and it has nothing to do with Joe Burrow being out. It's been a bad year for him.
People were scared about his like court stuff too, and it never came to fruition. He's just not that great.
Maybe he's thinking about it mentally. I don't know. But and also the one thing about that game too, it never really got out of hand. So there's no reason why they should have gone away from the run or like he was running that. I know the Steelers have a decent run game, but their nose tackle was out.
They're not great against fantasy running backs. Yes, so like they still get touchdown scored on himself.
Yeah, so that was a bad game when Mixon had all the advantages for that game, and that's looked like it's been a trend all year long. So he's been a dud not only this year, but one of those season-long duds.
My dud, we don't have to talk about it too much. It's Adam Thielen. I don't want to talk about the Panthers a lot. This is kind of like
it's only dud of the year, right? Yeah, don't harp it too much.
I was trying to hype up the Panthers to you, so
no, I don't want
to.
I don't want to do that. I'm putting him in the duds. It's been the only real bright spot of the Panthers. The viability.
The brightest spot, maybe.
It is. It honestly is. The Bryce Young, Adam Thielen connection was really all we had, right? That was it.
Andy Dalton a little bit too. Just Adam.
Go back to that Dalton game.
Stop.
Hey, that was Adam Thielen. Dalton was pretty amazing to watch. Yes, go on.
Yeah. As much as we love Mingo, it's not him getting pushed out by the imaginary cornerback.
Yeah, he was trying every way in his power not to step into bounds.
Yeah,
go on.
Don't let Tepper go back and watch that Dalton film because he'll make some rash decision or something.
He didn't make him head coach.
Or shove that video in his face so I can get Thielen playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be nice too. Okay, so Bryce has been doing all right, but yeah, like you said, if Dalton's out there, man, he was just slinging it. But you're not going to get that from Bryce Young. He literally so 1 catch for 2 yards from Thielen this week, 3 targets. Gross. Just gross. And these are games that they're losing. Like, they're losing all these games. So you think in these game scripts that they're going to be throwing it. He only saw 3 targets. It's just like.
This was the closest game in a while, though, I will say. Them. They only lost by 7 to the Titans,
Taylor's got beef with the Panthers secondary specifically because they've been injured all year, so he wants to pick props against it, but then they shut down the pass. Like we had Levis over, I think it was 200.5 yards last week, and he had 100 in the first quarter, ended with 185.
Yep. And then we had Stroud a couple weeks before that, and that was his worst game of the year.
Yeah.
It's just it's very weird. It's interesting, but they are statistically one of the worst pass defenses. So it's just do it when I don't pick them. I guess that's fine. But that's
Bryce Young, 31 dropbacks, 3 targets for Adam Thielen.
That's not a good correlation. It's usually much more. It's almost double digits more often than not. So
there's no one else on that team that can separate. And I'm not even saying Adam Thielen's elite at it. He's just by far the best on the team.
I think
process of elimination.
He's just making him look really good. Yeah.
Shark accidentally separates. There's one game where he has a 40-yard touchdown. You're like, oh, how did he get that open?
I'll tell you how. It's because
he's looking around confused.
He ran into the defender as fast as possible and won the collision. He won the collision. Yeah, that's it. That's how he gets out of the separation.
No, I think that team was poorly built, and you didn't really I think there are some things when you look at the offseason, you're like, oh, that's all new players, literally new running back, both new wide receivers, new tight end. It was a odd mixture. Hayden Hurst is new, right? I think his first year.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was on the Bengals last year, but so that's too much. You had a new coach, new turnover. Maybe you made the wrong decision as well. That could be there. CJ Stroud, I know on paper is looking good, but that's not really something that's solidified as you made the wrong decision yet. But that also has played into this. He might have done that as well.
I don't know how long we have to wait to say it was the wrong decision.
I think it's pretty close.
I'm almost ready.
Which is not good for this decision, right? For the Panthers. You obviously probably made the wrong decision. On the left tackle they took last year from NC, I'm not even trying to say his name. He doesn't look good at all.
The fact that you're gifting your first pick to Caleb Williams and the Bears is incredible too. It's multiple years of awfulness.
And there's rumors that you threw in more to sweeten the pot.
Yeah.
So that's it's all bad, especially you're not even letting this new coach finish the season. There's the owner seems nuts. To say the least.
He's not going to get more sane.
Tepper, you mentioned his name. I guess we can name drop him now that you said his name.
Yeah, we can call him out. That's fine. I don't. So they're tied up right now, $70 million over the next 4 years on fired coaches just alone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then you had Sanders. Horrible decision.
Oh yeah.
Horrible. That's a lot of money they spent on that, especially when nobody in their right mind
was
spending money on running backs.
There's no bidding war for Miles Sanders.
Jacobs barely got 12. Barkley barely got 11, and you're throwing over $60 million for whatever multiple years to Sanders. It was just
could have just kept Foreman, right? Foreman and Chuba was working.
Right.
Yeah.
Chuba looks Chuba's enough to be a solid 2-ish. He doesn't. He should catch the ball better. He doesn't run routes well, but he looks decent effectively a little bit on the run. So, like you said, you just keep Foreman. That's more money he could be spending on the coaches he's going to fire.
Or or just an offensive lineman because they need a lot of help there.
I forgot what they got for giving up CMC too. I feel like they should have got.
It was a 5th rounder. I don't even think it was anything
They
notable.
didn't like him. It was a weird. They
don't like the best running back in the league. Okay.
Yeah. No, that team's poorly run. It looks like it's going to continue to be so. They're also, the Raiders have seen this. I've seen it. If you're a poorly run team, you draft poorly, and those combination means you're going to keep on being bad. So
I mean, one more question, and this is, yes. I guess for us, we know the answer for us. It's like, yes, give us the job. But I'm saying any self-respecting head coach is not going to line up for this job. But they will get the coaches that are like, bro, I'm going to get paid out. Like, what do you mean? I go in here.
You get the first timers. You get the first timers that's never had a job before. Like the Eric Bieniemy. That's someone that's dying for a head coaching job. He's going to be like a yes man, just be like, all right, Tepper, that's fine. But like eventually you're going to hate it.
Yeah, the next week 10
He's going to quarterback whisper Bryce Young. That's super going to work.
And maybe
that's what they think about Doug Peterson. I don't know if he's totally whispered into Lawrence's ear. Yeah, but go on, Justin.
He needs to stop whispering.
Maybe in the offseason we can have this conversation because I do kind of want to get in on it, but I really just don't understand how coaches' contracts are fully guaranteed no matter what.
There are in college too. College, it seems like I feel like some schools are paying like 900 coaches at once. Like there's like these old misses and stuff. I don't think I can keep track of how many like they're doing. Like Auburn, I just swear Auburn has 9 coaches there. Yeah.
Like honestly, a clause that just says we fire you, we'll pay you next year, and that's it. It drops off.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't agree to that? Who are you fighting against? Like,
there's gonna be a coaches union that's like super strong.
They're like, I want all the money, so just don't offer them that long of a contract. It's stupid.
What you do is you get a really big deal and you start being really bad for like the first year, and then you like and then you just chill.
Yeah. Dude, and then it's crazy.
And then if you like sit on your couch, all these coaches, they sit on their couch like Kiffin's. All of a sudden they get a phone call like, "Hey, you want another top job?" He's like, "I didn't, but now I might." You know,
I saw something
really well at Ole Miss, but I'm saying that like there's coaches like that are like Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer is in line to get a top job this year. It's the same cycle.
Urban Meyer to the Panthers. Let's get the heat going.
Lucrative contract, be bad. Rely on your old past coaching, which Utah and Florida, he was elite. Fair. So like that's fine. Like but you rely on that, and it's just a cycle of continuing getting jobs while not really doing anything in the interim.
Yeah. So Frank Reich is going to make $25,000 a day for the next 4 years.
And he was on his couch. He was done. He hasn't been on the Colts. He wasn't on the Colts for like a year now. He was done. Yeah. So it's just it like you said, at Colts, the coach, it seems like the worst job to have. But like, if you're fired, it may be the best job to have.
Yeah,
it's the best job to not have anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get like, I'm sure Frank Reich deep down is like, yes, I really wanted to do something. I wanted to be the guy, but like, thanks though. Like,
I used to think a backup quarterback was like a cool job.
To work every day when we're 1-10.
Yeah,
thank you. I didn't want to.
Like backup quarterback, I always thought was a cool job, like sitting around like clipboard. But nowadays, like backup quarterbacks play every game now.
Yeah,
don't make me work.
Yeah, like Tommy DeVito's back like 10 years ago, they would have never seen the light of day. They would have been behind John Kitna for like 20 years.
John
Kitna's just like maybe just above the average line, right? And like those players never ever were out, right? And now like Tommy DeVito's the best quarterback in New York. It's just a crazy world.
And now Jake Browning, get in there. We're facing TJ
Buffalo
Watt
is in New York, guys. I heard about it. Right?
Whoopsies. Best quarterback in Jersey.
Yeah,
Jersey's own.
All right, where did we leave off? I think we got through all the duds. We got through all the duds.
We're talking about coaching leftovers, so let's get some fantasy football leftovers.
The leftovers.
This is your PSA. Throw those Thanksgiving leftovers out. They're not good anymore.
Really?
Well,
some stuff lasts. I mean, you can throw it in the freezer.
I'll try it out.
You ever have that bowl where you throw all that in, and like you like make a mashed potato base? And then you throw all.
Are you talking about hobo stew right now? Like
everybody. See, the thing is though, everybody has a certain name for it. And I forgot what my family was, so I was just describing it.
Wait, I cut you off. I want you to go back to that mashed potato base. What goes beyond that?
You talking about shepherd's pie?
Turkey? See, keep going. There's multiple
cranberry
names
sauce.
For it. Cranberry sauce.
You throwing that in there?
Stuffing, yeah, a little flavor. Stuffing,
and it's just a bowl.
Corn. I would eat that.
Yeah, it's a bowl.
Yeah,
it's like
I'd eat it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That's the best way to eat it. You just put it all in one and go to
You got to warm it up. I'm not saying it's like a cold bowl.
The best way to eat Thanksgiving leftovers, heat up your turkey, throw it on a sandwich with cranberry sauce.
Okay.
Mashable.
All right.
That's good.
Are you
toasting, you don't need a bowl
toasting the bread?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because like it's
that's warm. The turkey's warm.
Sorry.
Cranberry sauce cold. It's like a good mix.
What kind of bread? Like a nice like solid like French bread loaf?
Yeah, like some hoagie. Some hoagie bread.
There you go.
East Coast. Shout out.
So who out of these leftovers is the turkey on toasted bread with some cranberry sauce?
That's too much analogy. I have a Lions related question for you guys.
Yep.
Who is going to be relevant in fantasy playoffs? Khalif Raymond, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jameson Williams.
Donovan Peoples-Jones is not a Lion.
He's on the Lions.
He is.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him come out. He came out. He came out for like a play, dropped the ball, and then ran off. And I was like,
that's what he does.
Why does he look so big? Dude looks huge.
He looks huge. He's a massive human being. No, for sure.
Yeah. He's got all the talent in the world.
I'll take Jameson Williams. I think Jameson Williams. I mean, if anybody was going to do it, I mean, we kind of had expectations for him.
How long do we got to wait for him, like in Dynasty too, to pop?
Before Jacob talks, I'm going to take the winner, Khalif Raymond, before anybody says anything. Okay, I'm just saying, because now I'm looking at Donovan Peoples-Jones and I'm like so shocked. I didn't know this.
Don't do it.
No, the fact that you're telling me he dropped, that's why he doesn't have a job on the Browns anymore. He lost a job to Elijah Moore, who's mediocre.
Who was an outcast of two
Lions
teams.
Traded for him at the deadline. They traded for Peoples-Jones. Yeah.
For him to run out and drop a ball and then go back to the bench.
Well, you traded Rasul Douglas, and you probably thought he was going to do nothing on his team, and he's doing very well.
No, he's good. I knew he was good. That's why I was confused. I was like, I don't know what we're doing. Shit,
he's on the Bills right now, right? Rasul Douglas, the Bills.
Yeah, he's had like a couple picks in a couple weeks.
No, there's a trade deadline for every sport. Seems like you try to get something to help your team, but like football is like a 53-man. Like I feel like some people are just trading someone just to fill from 52 to 53. Like Donovan Peoples-Jones is like, all right, cool. We have a good 6 wide receiver. That's awesome. And red zone packages a little. You know, like I don't know what else.
I know that Thanksgiving game was a little out of whack, but Khalif Raymond 5 catches, 90 yards. Jameson Williams 3 targets, 2 catches, 51.
I'm gonna win.
Khalif Raymond is the
always
answer.
he's like a
no. I know. I know Khalif Raymond's awesome. I do like Khalif Raymond, but I do think there's a little more involvement. And honestly, like you said, it's his rookie season. It's been really horrible. Wait, it is his rookie season, right? He had the injury,
Williams?
suspended injury, and we're finally here.
Yeah, right? I think he didn't have.
Does it not count for suspension?
Huh?
Oh, Jameson Williams?
Your rookie season doesn't count if you're suspended?
He played last year.
Right.
He caught a touchdown in his first game.
Oh, he did. So, okay, so it's not rookie. So it just feels like it. The guy's done nothing. I thought
there was like game time or something. Yeah.
He's playing like he's still in college. So
I still think I think he looks pretty rough for the most part out there. But recently, in the last couple of weeks, they're making it a point to get him on the field and like give him a touch or two. Like they're giving him chances. So that's at least encouraging for somebody that's such a high draft pick. I feel like they're going to try to find some value in there.
This is his second year off his ACL, so he's starting to gain his explosiveness back, which is a key thing for him because he is a good route runner, but he relies on that speed and explosiveness.
Can they reach the peak of week 3 Josh Reynolds?
Can't say that word at all. Wow. What?
Can they reach the peak of week 3 Josh Reynolds because he is falling off.
And Josh Jared Goff, whatever you prefer.
Right.
They have been throwing together since he was on the Rams. Like they have a really, really key connection. Like it doesn't matter where Reynolds is. He could be like the 4th receiver. They find packages for him and he makes plays down the field. So, I mean, Reynolds seems like he's always going to be a mainstay on that wide receiver core.
Last 5 games for Reynolds. I agree with Reynolds long-term, but it hasn't been the last 5 weeks. 2 catches, 1 catch, 2 catches, 1 catch, 2 catches.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying he's going to be there forever.
He will be around. Around.
So he's better than Donovan Peoples-Jones is what you're saying.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was playing. Yeah.
All right, first leftover I got A.T. Perry. We went through some of the Saints injuries earlier. Chris Olave might clear concussion protocol, but Shaheed's probably not a go. So maybe it's A.T. Perry, although he might need Jameis Winston to come back in and sling him.
I feel like we all do.
We all do.
Yeah, the world wants it. I mean, let's be honest.
Isn't Card a certain age too? Like you're not like you don't take his mediocre play anymore. Like the Raiders, I don't
think Derek Carr hates Jameis Winston. You saw that clip of Jameis Winston dancing, singing, and Carr's like in the thick of it.
Oh, when he was rapping a Ludacris to him. Yeah, honestly, he's a Derek Carr's a very Christian man, family man. He's probably never even heard of Ludacris before. He's probably seen him acting, but not the music. I'm saying there's 2 different types of
He knows Chris Bridges. He's a no Ludacris.
Oh my god. I don't even know that. I don't even know Chris Bridges. I'm a Ludacris fan. No, but like Derek Carr, clearly it's not. They're 2 different people. That's a weird quarterback room. You see, like the
actually is. Like I want a documentary on that.
Okay, it's not even just those 2. You got Taysom Hill in there every once in a while.
And he's in the tight end room. I feel like, but yeah, he's in both rooms. And then they have Ian. What do they have?
Ian Book, I think so.
No, Jake Hayner, the kid from Fraser State, who's a He's an odd fella.
All right,
odd fella.
Yeah. No, but that's a weird team. Like
he had that photo shoot and then he got suspended for betting on games, right?
Who?
Hayner.
Yeah, I thought it was Peds.
Like PEDs.
Yeah, Peds.
I don't know.
It's a Peds dispenser.
Peds dispenser.
No, okay, yeah.
That's how they take him now.
He was taking him out of the dispenser. All right, yeah, he's got to go.
No, Shahid's a big injury for them too, because that's the kid that gaps the field, and that's huge. Like you said, I don't know.
Derek Carr's already dinking and dunking. Shahid's the only thing that opens it up.
Yeah, so that makes Perry is the next field stretcher because Alavi is a very good route runner, but he doesn't stretch the field like a Perry and a Shahid. So whoever's the quarterback, Perry is a good option. Last week, it didn't seem like he was really targeted much, but they need to start opening plays for him now that Shahid might not be in the
He's
lineup.
on the field. I think that's what people are kind of. That's why he's in the leftovers. That's why we're even talking about him. Is that fact that he's been out there for like 75% plus of the snaps out of nowhere. Like the last.
He was part of the meal.
That he was
part of the meal.
Yeah. He's just like
he got pushed to the side of the plate.
He's on the table.
Yeah.
Don't play with your food, AT Perry.
the plate's going over AT Perry. He's not getting any scoops or anything, but like it's there. It's presented.
I was thinking about leftovers as a concept too. Like I feel like leftovers isn't a plug and play. It's not pick this guy up, put him in your lineup. It's pick him up the week before he pops, so that you have him available as an option.
If you're putting in all of our leftovers, there's no way you're
probably not listening still because it was over in week 8.
No, no, that's unfortunate.
Shahid getting injured, by the way, bums me out because I was like, he was somebody that I like. He was a really cheap guy at the trade deadline that I was like, I could get this guy. Like I could throw something and we can make it work. He'd be fun to have on my team. I didn't get him, but I'm bummed because I feel like he was going to pop these last few games.
The Saints had a pretty decent schedule coming in, like easy wise. So like he would have opportunities going the end of the year. He plays in the division with the Panthers, so that's always helpful. But no, that's a very weak division, and it's getting more division heavy to end of the year, and that was something that the Saints were going to rely on. Now, like you said, there might be more dink and dunks. Juwan Johnson is an option. I know a lot of people forgot about him. He's going to be getting there. He's finally healthy. Hill is.
It is a Taysom Hill week, though. Also,
it's Hill or Kamara. Kamara, there's no way he doesn't get 10 catches this week.
Yeah.
It seems impossible for him to not to have that number. The opportunities are there. Olave is interesting though because you usually get like a DMP straight. It seems like at least he might have got an LP today. So I know we were having 22% chance that he misses with our numbers for concussions, but that might be one that slips through the cracks and plays. But I think either way, you just like you said, the dink and dunk. Kamara, Perry's an option just because you said he's on the field, and they do.
Shahid's going to be multi-week too. It's a tie for a speedster, so
Perry's usage should go up. Yeah.
Next one, I got Dearness Johnson. I realized he was on an NFL roster when he caught a screen pass for a touchdown or almost a touchdown. He went like 30 yards.
Oh, I called touchdown really early.
Etienne went out of the game with his chest injury. He came back, so not a concern for Etienne this week. But they play Monday night against Cincy. Maybe some opportunity for a blowout for the Jags. I don't know. They're not blowing anybody out. Never mind.
Bigsby's decent, like through the tackles, but he's not a great pass catcher.
He's not getting screens.
Johnson
anything
is
like that,
a good catcher of the ball, so that he'll get opportunities out there, and he's lightweight effective on running through the tackles as well. So if there is a chance that he could overtake the backfield for a little bit over Bigsby.
I think
Justin's
that's happened,
DFS.
honestly. I think when you look at him getting the ball, every time Johnson gets a touch, it just looks good. Like,
right.
And when Bigsby gets a touch, it's like a fumble. Like
he's a bowling ball. Like you gotta wait for him to develop. But yeah, like you said, you know what you have in Johnson. So if they're trying to win, you're not trying to learn about somebody. Right now, you're just trying to plug in somebody and wait till it comes back.
Justin's favorite DFS tight end for Thanksgiving specifically, Tucker Kraft. Caught touchdown.
Hey, it's not a lot of volume, right? Yeah, Musgrave's out.
He's
you're gonna
got a
get
lacerated liver. So
you drafted him, right? You drafted Musgrave in him this year. You saw something in Kraft. He was decent in college too. So I mean, he's a offensive threat. Honestly, he's not that good at blocking. I think Musgrave's a better blocker. But like you said, you're not expecting more than 3 catches probably. But if you get a touchdown, then more the merrier.
He's like he's like Tyler Kroft if he changed his name and identity but didn't do a good job at it.
Like a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a T and a K and an aft.
I'm not gonna come back as Tyler Kroft. I'm come back as Tucker Kraft.
What are you, a cheerleader? There's a T. There's a K.
There's a T. Give me an F and a T. Yeah.
Well, we can't spell this next guy's first name that way. Dontavian Wicks. That'll take forever. He's been a nice little option. I know we're Packers heavy on the leftovers, but that's to get Justin's take on his own team.
Have to.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's because this wide receiver room is.
There's no solid roles.
It is kind of. It feels like Kansas City.
Rolls.
It's Kansas City Chief-esque to me, where it's like the wide receiver room could be anybody at any time. Although Reed's been pretty good.
Reed's been very good.
Reed's been pretty consistently good.
Speed,
Has Reed been more consistent than Rashee Rice?
No,
it's getting close.
I thought Rice caught like a touchdown every game the whole year.
Touchdown every week that he's alive.
I think if you look at the scoring the last like 3 weeks or so, I think they're like right there. But like I think
Rice had a big
probably
catches
rather
game
have
as well
Reese.
this week. Yeah.
Reese, you probably rather have Rice.
Right.
I'd say. Oh, I said Reese.
I think one of those quarterbacks is going over 300 more than the other, but that's all I'll say. Shootouts and droughts.
It's not nice to say.
It's some shootouts and droughts.
25 ranked and Rice is 37, by the way. So you'd way rather have Reed.
Is that a couple of pop weeks from Reed? Like, what is that?
Oh, he's had some.
Like,
he's
consistently.
Reed has 36 catches for 497 yards and 5 touchdowns. Remember, Justin knows end around magician as well.
Yes,
60 yards for a rushing touchdown for Reed. And then Rice has 44 catches, 527 and 5, -3 rushing yards.
It hurts.
You hate to see it, yeah.
Hate to see the rushing from the end around. No, that's the one thing he had at Michigan State. Justin, is why you drafted him. His speed is game changing. He has that extra jump, extra level speed. He's helpful, and that little end arounds are key. Drives that you can switch stuff up, especially with no Jones, Dillon not effective. So
yeah. One more thing on the Packers because we're here, and I love
yes,
talking about it. They had a great week.
The talk of the town.
They are.
Their pass catchers are so young. It's crazy to me. And the fact that we're seeing flashes from almost all of them right now.
Dobbs as well.
That's awesome. We're going to, just hold on to them. Hopefully they grow and hopefully somebody emerges as like an elite option out of that.
Yeah.
Top over under the week I have is Miami at Washington. Heck of a game. That's going to be a shootout.
Yeah. Okay. See, initially I was like, oh, that's rough. Every time I see Miami, I think they're carrying the load, but like, Sam Howell can sling it. He's been slinging it.
Yeah, I've been on him all year. I think he's really good. He's one of those quarterbacks you got, like, after the first 15, like you like to wait, Justin, that you'd be perfectly fine with him right now.
Anyone that picked up Curtis Samuel, not trying to be a hater, just don't play him this week. It was like division opponent. Cowboys are always going to shut down McLaurin. That's why they went to Curtis Samuel. It's not like Samuel's the new one.
What's wrong with what's going on?
Yeah, I like Curtis
McLaurin hurt me. McLaurin hurt me, and then Samuel did better.
Why
so
you
I'm
put this disclaimer out?
Because people are gonna like
Curtis, if you're listening,
Curtis Samuel,
we hate you.
Don't draft him this week. Like that was weird.
I'm clipping it. I'm clipping and promoting it.
That's rough.
Targeted Curtis Samuel. Right
now. No, I like Curtis Samuel.
I like Curtis Samuel, but like he hadn't done anything before this week, so it's not like all of a sudden.
No, I mean it's definitely not a stretch to say he's not going to get 900 again, or he is going to get 9. He's not going to do that probably, but like
I think that's the limb I'm going out on.
Okay.
Seattle at Dallas, the Thursday game, 47.5 over under. You going over under for that game?
Dallas, I would probably go over.
Is Charbonnet startable? It's Thursday.
I don't think so yet. I don't even see him getting in the end zone right now. So I mean, he is getting some receiving work and whatever, but I mean, he hasn't looked totally effective with his touches.
I probably, it depends on where you're at. I mean, unless you're doing really well at running back, you're probably starting them, right?
He has volume.
You have
volume.
Yeah. There's no Walker. I mean, I'm considering starting him, but it does feel gross that it's Thursday.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot more. There's not a lot more time to think about it. You don't have like a pivot, so you have to choose or not. So that
that's why you should think about it more a little bit.
Wait on a back, like somebody who might not have as much workload, but just like isn't a better matchup. I don't know. That's tough.
Because like you said, the volume is there. It's just the matchup seems a little iffy. They have a really elite D line, and then I think the game's going to be close, but they have shown that they are not doing that of late. So if it does come out of hand for the Cowboys, then Charbonnet is not going to he's not going to touch the ball except in the pass game, maybe. So
man, I don't know. I might put him in. I'm looking at this snap percentage. 88% of snaps last week. 85.
He's the only dude.
He's the only guy.
DJ Dallas is out there to catch 2 balls. That's it. So that 12%, it's Dallas pass blocking or catching the ball. It's all Charbonnet.
I might just take the 20 touches and throw him in.
You're just taking the volume.
I think I'll take it. I mean, he played San Francisco last week, had 14 carries for 47 and 4 catches, only 11 yards on the 4 catches, but the catches can go. Like you got a chance with him. that a catch could break and you might be doing all right.
That was my theory with Brian Robinson this year. I just saw his usage just being nuts. Like Gibson is very good receiving, but like even if Robinson's not doing like 100% with the work, like he has been doing really well at least recently, especially with the receiving with Gibson out. But like the volume is just too good there. Like, and then like their offensive line was healthy enough. Sam Howell's at least a threat enough that you're worried about him beating you down the field. So that opens the door for inside the tackle run. So it's like that is something at the volume you don't want to chase, but like there's a certain point that like you need to take it. You can't say no to 20 touches on the bench. That makes no sense. Like,
so I'll say if anyone's listening to this right now and is about to coin flip Charbonnet against somebody else, just stop. All right, put the coin back in the piggy bank. Start Charbonnet. I'll go out and say it. Right? You can blame me, but start.
Put the piggy bank away.
I was scrolling through, giving you 2 piggy bank names. So Devin Singletary or Charbonnet.
Singletary was still getting the work. We joked about it.
He finally fell off this week, though, and I've been waiting for it for weeks. Not a hater wise, just
they
like
both
I didn't
were not good this week.
Yeah,
Pierce just doesn't look good to me.
Yeah,
I know he had the high ankle his first week back, but like we'll see this week. But like they're a pass happy team, and they haven't been a pass happy team in years.
Yeah,
and they have Collins, Dell, Wood, Schultz. Like, why would you pass? I mean, run. Excuse me. Why would you run?
Kareem Hunt or Charbonnet?
Kareem Hunt.
I'll take Charbonnet over Kareem Hunt. I'd rather have Singletary over Kareem Hunt, personally.
Joe Flacco's going to go in probably this week.
That might help
Joe Flacco might run to pass the ball. I'm getting he's running past.
Oh, I was like, go Flacco.
He might run the ball 20 times.
He can run more than A-Rod right now.
I see them passing maybe 15 times. Like, what's the reason for pushing that? I know he's a veteran, but this isn't the same offense. I would say
they're going to pound the rock, game manage.
Ford has looked good of late. He's doing okay with his touches. So I see them both getting like 15 touches. Why not?
I'd take I'm going to order him Charbonnet, Singletary, Hunt. That's how I want to do it. I'm okay.
You said Charbonnet to everyone, by the way.
That's what he's saying. Put away the coin.
Okay.
He's taking Charbonnet.
Put away the coin in your piggy bank. But what if you're wrong, I might need my piggy bank to pay off whatever I lost.
I'll send you a coin. I'll send you a coin in the mail.
Piggy bank
there
fund.
you go.
Yeah.
Denver at Houston, same 47.5. Feels kind of insulting to Seattle and Dallas that they have the same over-under as Denver, Houston. I don't know what to make of that.
I don't know, man. I
feel like to who, I guess, would be the valid question
here. Yeah.
Yeah. So Houston obviously has a prolific offense. They're slinging it, but like Denver is like you see Denver, and it's like you still have that bad taste of like they're an awful team, but they've been winning, man.
I watched that out of Jacob. I told him, I was like, I had to tell him at Russell Wilson, like, dude, his
Russell's numbers slapped me in the face and was like, hey, I'm good this year.
Yeah.
Like his TD to INT ratio is really good this year. Javante's finally playing enough, off that ACL tear. He looks decent.
He's sustainable in the run game, definitely.
Perrine looked really good this week. Like you said, Sutton's good. If Judy figured it out, they might be more elite than they are now. But for now, like they look like a team in the playoffs wouldn't want to take. Then they have a good defense. You wouldn't want to necessarily want to play this Broncos defense. I mean, or offense right now.
Adam Troutman has the same amount of touchdowns as Jerry Jeudy. Just throwing that in there.
And that's weird. I was actually really high in Greg Dulcich, but I mean his hamstring wasn't. So I mean,
all the way up in his leg, it snapped off
like twice, right?
Yeah. Niners at Philly, 47.5 also.
I feel like Philly has played crazy games this last 3, right?
There's no way they can keep pulling wins out like this too.
Bills,
come on.
Bills, Chiefs, and now the Niners.
Yeah.
That's it's a gauntlet.
They clinch playoffs, I think, with this win. Maybe they're a little more motivated.
Yeah,
I mean, they had to win. This is it's not like the Champions League in Pokemon. Like you have to beat these 3 NFL teams. Once you do, you're automatically in the playoffs. Right. Like you're good. Yeah. Like I don't.
They're making the playoffs anyways. I don't think they're like all in because you're going to clinch this week.
Imagine
we're going to rest for 8 weeks.
When are they going to keep rattling off these teams against these top teams? And they're winning in all types of ways. Hurts is
now they got Lane Johnson and Fletcher Cox, both
questionable
groin. Who knows if they're going to play through.
Their D line it's elite. Their offense is figuring it out. Hurts is getting healthier during these wins too.
Right.
Like the first win, he might not have been 100%. Now he's getting close to it. Kelsey, even with those 2 false starts, made the crazy block
of the game.
Like it's just this team keeps going. Like you said, they're healthy and there's not much that's going to stop them right now. Aldemade Zacchaeus is probably, if we're talking about leftovers as well. I know he just did. He might be one. Just have a little. Get part of that offense.
Yeah,
for cheap.
No, that's not a bad idia. Especially their speedster out, Quez Watkins on IR, so he's not coming back.
I think he might have just came back, but he ain't 100%.
Oh, right, they activated him, but Zacchaeus is still above him.
You can't tell anybody to pick up a tight end in that offense because Cal Cetera is out. Jack Stoll is a pure blocker. He didn't look great in that one catch. I saw him. He was like fumbling himself out of bounds. But
you gotta love those tight ends that don't look like they can put their hands above their shoulders. Like I know they can, but they're just like built like a block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to answer your original question, probably over, right? This is elite Eagles offense. Halafunga out for you. Yeah. I think it's his name right. That's a huge loss for you on defense. Right.
I can't. I'm trying to rack my brain to see because I think Philly's the number one fantasy points allowed to wide receivers.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember last time a team this good gave up that much in the passing game. Like it seems odd when you're. I mean, I play Yahoo, so you're flipping through and you see the green. And it's like, who they're playing? Oh, Philly. Philly's number one against.
You're like, oh.
Like the worst against fantasy wide receivers.
The Packers had a team back in the day in like the 2011. That team was like super good. And the team that won the Super Bowl, that was so good, but they gave up so many yards. Like if you're going off pure yards, it's just we had playmakers that got turnovers that changed games. I think it's like the bend don't
like a boom and bust defense.
Like Al Harris. Al Harris would be pick sixes every other time, but he also would be letting things go behind him as well.
Stop! I'm getting too excited.
Sorry, I was helping you live your Packer. Right? I got you.
Good.
Last game I have is Detroit at New Orleans, 46.5. Not sure why it's the 5th highest point total with all the New Orleans pass catcher issues we talked about.
Yeah, that's weird.
Detroit's offense. I mean, we talked about Detroit's offense in the past, but like
get stopped. You've seen it get stopped.
We saw it on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Against the what?
So are we calling under? Are we calling under on this? Is that what you're saying?
I'm leaning under. I mean, you're telling me Derek Carr's not going to have a speed
the one
threat,
thing I will say,
the
Saints defense is very good, and the Lions run defense at least is pretty solid. So I mean, it speaks to his under. Even if Olave returns, they can just double cover Olave if Shaheed and Thomas are both out. They do have issues with Anzalone. I think he might be injured. If they are, that opens the door for at least Juwan Johnson to have some space in the middle. Jack Campbell can get better. He's a little rookie linebacker, hasn't fully figured himself out.
I'm leaning under, but then Taysom Hill's a part of this game, so he could be like 4 touchdowns by himself.
He's a weird one because I don't like doing props with him because I don't know what he's gonna do. Like, is he gonna pass for 20, run for 20, or catch for 20?
He always has like 0.5 passing yards. It hits like 5 weeks in a row, and then he doesn't pass the rest of the season.
There's one week where I did his rushing yards, and that worked. But like, there's gonna be next week where he has like 40 receiving and like 2 rushing yards and like 8 passing. And so he's just like multifaceted. It's hard to hit, but he is effective regardless of what he does.
Just put combined yards, combined touchdowns for Taysom Hill.
Can they do rush like a PRR?
Yeah. Pass rush receiving.
Yeah. I haven't seen those.
All right. Any parting words, Justin?
No, I mean, this has been a
hopefully
good time.
In the playoff hunt.
Now we're gonna go down. You get me started on this, all right? I don't want to do this.
Separate from your last.
We extended our league from last year from 12 to 14, and we made it so it's 7 teams. It's like half the league makes the playoffs, but now it's only 1 bye week, so everyone's fighting for that 1 seed. I've never been in a league with. I don't know if it's just because it's 14 or not, or it just happens to work out like this. It's so tight. We're like. Only 1 team is officially eliminated out of 14. Wow. So anybody can still get it. Obviously, it's a stretch for like the 13 and 12, but it's so wide open. Everybody's so locked up. It's going to be these last 2 weeks are going to be nauseating, but fun to watch. So that's going to be exciting. I think that's I think you'd want that, right? As opposed to just
you want that.
Here's the top 6, and then here's the rest. Like, you know what I mean? I think this is cool that everyone's still fighting for it. So I'm proud of that league. So if you're listening right now. You're doing great.
Speaking of nauseating, I'm officially out of the hot dog zone. I'm going to declare it. I talked about it before on the podcast that loser in my home league eats.
As a new listener, can you explain what the hot dog zone is? That's a weird way to come in.
Loser in my home league, the last place punishment is Joey Chestnut. You got to eat his record number of hot dogs in a week. It's pretty psychologically not okay punishment.
What's the math on that? Like 6 plus a day?
It's like 8.5 a day. It's more than you think. Whatever you think, add like 2 numbers to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I picked up 3 wins in a row. I'm 4-7.
Yeah.
I'm like 2 wins away from razor eyebrow, maybe the playoffs, but I'm not getting my hopes up. The guy who's in last place has lost 7 in a row and faced like an average of 120 against him a week in half PPR. So
you're about to go to Costco and get
he's down bad. He's down bad. He's accepting it. He said he's going to make a documentary about it. So
there's one already locked in.
He's lost 7 in a row and he's like not looking good.
I would start eating hot dogs now just to prepare. You know,
I had one the other day, just like, you know what, I can have this. Not worried about my impending.
You don't even eat 8.5 times a day.
No.
So how are you fitting this? Like, you gotta have. That's nuts.
Free a meal.
That's what I'm saying. You got to blend them up and just smoothie it, crush it in the morning, and that's it.
That doesn't. You can't
Protein
do that.
shake.
No way.
That's how I would do it, man. You're gonna make me eat that
back
many
in the
hot
day,
dogs.
I used to have like mac and cheese or beans. Remember when you used to have the sliced hot dogs in there? So
Yeah,
how many
I would
hot
eat
dogs?
that.
That might not be a whole hot dog.
That's
but...
like a million calories a day, though.
No, but I definitely
all
wouldn't.
that.
You can't worry about the calories. You're in
Yeah.
punishment right now, bro.
But wait, so you're trying to find different creative ways to eat a hot dog? I definitely wouldn't add more food to the hot dog. I would just like dip it in something or
no. I want to put some cheese on top. I can't just have like a plain hot dog. I gotta add some stuff
to the
to
indigestion.
it. Yeah.
All right, we're off the rails here. Thanks
all right.
everyone for joining. We'll catch you next week.